Sideshow presents Get Super with Joshy G. Featuring today's special guest, Anna Paquin. It's time to get super.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Joshy G, and this is a very special episode of Get Super with Joshy G because I am joined by the one and only Miss Anna Paquin. Anna, how are you today? You're looking very lovely, by the way.
Thank you, Josh. I am good. My Zoom classrooms are all running smoothly.
Yeah.
I swear. Because homeschool is how we do it now. Worked out already today.
Look at that. For those of you that don't know,
have
Anna
some stuff to do.
Yeah, Anna Paquin, actress, producer, and fitness enthusiast. Look at that, getting that all done.
Yeah, that 9 to 10 slot really, makes my mornings painful in the best possible way.
But you and your family are good. You and your family staying safe.
We are good. Yeah, everyone. We are safe. We are healthy. None of us have gotten sick, which is a relief. Can't complain.
That's awesome. Now, you obviously started acting at a very, very young age. Mm-hmm. What kind of got you into acting? Was it something that you wanted to pursue at such a young age, or were you just kind of thrown into the mix?
I kind of accidentally got a job because I went to an open call audition for the piano, and then I won an Oscar.
That's so insane. I love the fact that,
as they say, the life chose me.
But how kind of cool. I mean, you knocked it right out of the park very first get-go. You know what I mean? We've had WWE superstars, champion superstars. We had people that maybe were nominated for an Oscar, but I believe this is the first time we've had an actual Oscar award winner on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well. Very honored.
How was that experience at such a young age? I mean, were you just overwhelmed, or did you think like, oh, this is normal? All right.
I had no idea what was going on. I'm from New Zealand, and we sort of had this very sheltered, hippie New Zealand lifestyle with not a lot of TV or films or access to any of that stuff, by choice from my parents. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have the faintest idea what was happening, and so people trying to explain, oh, it's the Oscars, it's this huge deal. I was like, okay. And then you get out of the car, there's thousands of people in sort of stadium stands shrieking everyone's names. And I was so confused as to how people knew my name. Because I really did not get the fact that this was like a huge, event.
Yeah, I would imagine at such a young age, right? You don't have the ability to take that all in the sense like you don't know what's going on, but then you're sitting in the seat and they call your name. Were you expecting to win?
No.
Did you just like, hey, I'm here for the party, or?
No, I mean, I have a really amazing mom who is really not a showbiz mom. She's still pretty skeptical about it. Uh-huh. And I'm 38. And so she, was very protective and also just didn't want a sad 11-year-old. So she was like, look, there's no way you're going to win. This is a grown-up thing. You're brand new. This is cool. This will be something fun to remember. And then like right as we're getting out of the car, she's like, however, if you do win, do you know who you need to thank? And I was like, no. She's like, okay. And like ran through a list of like the 5 people. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I'm not going to need to know that.
So you win, you thank all these people, you win. Does your life immediately change drastically, or was it like a slow burn into the next few things?
I mean, I didn't work. Oh, that's not true. I worked later that year. I went back to New Zealand. So as far as sort of massive change, I was a very big fish in a small pond. Mm-hmm. So there were, people camped outside my school and my house, which was quite strange.
Asking for autographs and pictures and all that jazz.
Yeah, and New Zealand's not a big sort of paparazzi, or it certainly wasn't then, sort of culture. Mm-hmm. But a country of 3 million people, and the little kid from that movie that was a New Zealand film winning an Oscar made a bit of an impact. But I was just so shy that it just kind of, I was more just kind of like embarrassed about being, pointed and stared at.
Oh, see, but that's so cool that you were, you seemed very humble about it, where other people they would have
Not
been
seemed.
Yeah,
Am.
yeah. And so from there, you've done a couple of things, and then you got to work with Steven Spielberg in Amistad. I mean, that's quite the resume at such a very, very young age.
I have worked with some really cool people. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I mean, I have had some really amazing directors and actors to learn from. And if you're going to do an apprenticeship and an activity as opposed to studying it in any kind of formal way, I pretty much had the best possible, and a few people along the way where I'm like, and I'm definitely not going to be like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, when people they come to Hollywood with these big dreams and, whether they're young or they're super old, I mean, they look at someone's resume like yourself and being like, oh man, I would love to emulate that. And in reality, sometimes.
There's no playbook.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
Playbook. It's like, what can I do? I was like, I don't know. I was in the right place at the right time. And then I worked really fucking hard.
Yeah. That's usually the key when you talk to people in all walks of life.
And I will fully own that I jumped to the front of the queue as far as how I started. Mm-hmm. But you get there, and if you don't do something with it and you don't put the work in, you do not get to stay there. So, it's been an unconventional path, but also one that I've poured my life and my soul and my creative energy into, and that I love.
Yeah. Well, there's one I want to talk about because it's a very popular movie. All right. All-star cast, ensemble cast. I think you know where I'm going with this.
I don't know.
She's All That. You were in that movie.
I was going to say, you do realize that's most of my resume is large ensemble cast.
I'm talking late 90s. Me and my friend Seth Rollins, we had a long discussion. And I know that sounds silly coming from a big giant wrestler and a guy with a beard talking about 90s teen movies, but She's All That is one of the
but we're roughly the same age, so it's not that weird.
Exactly. Such a crazy cast when you go back and look at it. You got Freddie Prinze Jr., you got Paul Walker, you have Usher, you have Matthew Lillard. There's so many.
Little Kim.
Yeah, Little Kim. I forgot about Little Kim. How was it on that movie? And most importantly, without that movie, without you, there probably wouldn't be this She's All That, only because you helped the lead go from nerdy to you helped her out. You were the sis.
They could have plugged and chugged somebody else through, but it was, it's pretty much the only sort of straight up teen movie I ever did. And it happened to coincide with the month that I moved from New Zealand to Los Angeles. And was starting a new school in LA. So as far as the sort of being really present in the, oh, wow, this is really cool on set, I was more still acclimating to a new country and a new school system, and pretty stressed out about, some of the sort of logistics of this very large life choice I just made. It was my junior year of high school. So, grades matter.
Yeah. But again, you did such a great job with that. And the fact that, it's still loved by a wide array of people, especially a giant WWE superstar like Seth Rollins. He was like, oh, She's All That, because we were talking about teen movies, which one was number one, and of course I was like, Varsity Blues, that one's so underrated.
I like Varsity Blues,
but he was like, nope, She's All That. That's the one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, what's also funny about that is that the little siblings, it was me and it was Kieran Culkin.
That's right.
And he and I worked together years and years later, and we used to hang, and I'm still friends. And it was just so funny, we were both the younger siblings of the other, person.
Yeah. So
and another somebody who's done nothing with their life.
No, don't even know who he is. But
Succession,
now look,
what?
So again, you're super young. You've done an Oscar award-winning movies. You've done teen movies, obviously superhero movies. You move on to horror movies, which in Trick or Treat, and then we get into a TV show that has a wide array of fans, including my mother, big fan of yours.
I know, I met her, and she was
True Blood. How was it working on that show, and also how was it dealing with the fan base that is pretty much everybody, from housewives to teenagers to angsty teens to.
I mean, having worked in the sort of superhero world previously,
Yeah.
I was not unfamiliar with the level of excitement that anything in the sort of genre Comic-Con kind of arena conjures up in the fans. So but you're never really sure if your show's going to hit in that way. You know, that was the demographic, and those are the people that, you know, we were hoping would love the show, but we had no idea it was going to turn into such a huge kind of zeitgeist, you know. I mean, we did our first Comic-Con panel for that because the series of books had a huge following. But again, you don't know if they're going to follow you to the TV version, because people get funny about source material sometimes. I mean, our first Comic-Con panel, our show hadn't even come out yet, and we sold out the entire ballrooms in San Diego. And then every year they kept having to put us into a bigger ballroom and a bigger ballroom and a bigger ballroom, and it was just, I mean, it was crazy, and but in a good way.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, look, there's so much work that you do creatively and that one does and people do, and talented people, and things that never see the light of day or that release for 5 seconds. And we all pretend that it's not painful.
Yeah.
When you put loads of your energy and your passion into something. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's really nice when you pour your life into something and people have the response, like an even bigger and better response than you could possibly have ever imagined. Because there was also, with that show, a solid chance everyone was gonna think we were out of our fucking minds.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Oh, trust me. No one thought that you were out of your. Nobody thought you were out of your mind. My mother was a huge fan of the show. I've talked about her a lot and her love for vampires and Edward and Thor, but you especially, and Vampire Bill, she can just not stop talking about even to this day. So.
Well, you know, I got to keep him as a little souvenir. So.
Exactly. So.
Oh, well.
What? That's such a great gift to leave a show. It's like, oh, I get to leave with.
I mean, the truth is that we spent, as a cast and crew, as mostly the same crew the entire time. We're really, really close. Still are, actually. At the beginning of quarantine, we had a Zoom reunion with all of our cast and crew, and I mean, there was like 75 of us all sitting in our respective quarantine homes. You know, and this is like years ago now. You know, but I mean, a lot of life happens during an 8-9 year period of time. There was something at like 35 babies born, and like a couple dozen marriages, probably a few divorces.
Yeah,
you know, there was a lot of life passages and big things in other people's lives. And when you're spending 17 hours a day with people for 7 months out of the year, that's your family.
And it's got to be kind of sad, obviously, that it ends, because you grow so close to these people.
Yeah.
I mean, but also, too, you're like, you know what? Life's got to kind of move on. Like, we've already done.
Life moves on. And also, these are people who will be in your corner for life, you know? And film is such a weird activity that, you know, you see people very rarely because everyone's always off somewhere else, you know? But yeah, no, that was a pretty great one, you know, as far as not just the creative, but the interpersonal stuff. And you know, HBO does great stuff. So.
Well, just let you know, as like I said, my mom, huge fan, and you guys again did an amazing job for that show and the source material, and I'm sure the fans all over the world would love to maybe see, you know, you guys again. I
think we're too old now.
Yeah.
Vampires aren't supposed to age.
Yeah, true, fair. My mom would be like,
I'm not sure. I think my young Southern belle, you know, days might be in my rearview mirror.
Well, what are some of the things that you love, Anna? Like we talked about, you know, people that love the things that you're in. What are some of the things that you love? Like, what are you fans of? Are there pop culture things, movies, television shows, comic books per se that you like, or are there things outside of the pop culture world that you just love?
I mean, I'm not sure if this counts as pop culture, but I'm an obsessive true crime enthusiast.
Oh, So am I. Sorry, I get so excited when I talk about true crime.
My podcast library and my Google search engine, like if anyone I don't like ever goes missing, are definitely going to get me in trouble because it will look like I actually, you know. So I'm like, oh, that was a really interesting case. Let me Google more about it.
Yeah. No,
I listen to all of them.
I relax by watching Dateline, and you know, people are like, what? This is not relaxing, and I'm like, no,
it is. It is. You know, Dateline does a podcast too.
Oh yes, the thing about Pam. Oh, don't even get started.
You know, there's loads of really good ones.
And I don't want to alarm you about my love for Dateline. This is my pop socket on my phone, and that's Keith Morrison. Most people think it's Joe Biden. Not that there would be anything wrong with that, but that's Keith Morrison from Dateline. And
so that's not Joe Biden.
Yeah, no, that's Keith Morrison, Canadian hero in my eyes. So that's how much I love true crime. So I did not know that about you, and I'm so proud.
No, and again, I'm not sure if this is a pop culture thing, but sort of as an offshoot, like profoundly distressing, dark documentary films.
Okay. Like what? Give me an example.
I'm trying to think of like what was sort of probably like, I think the first sort of step into that genre of filmmaking that I saw was the Paradise Lost trilogy, about the West Memphis Three. That was an HBO series of documentaries. I don't know if are you familiar with that case?
Vaguely. I'm
not going to go into it because it's a bit of a buzzkill, but a horrible miscarriage of justice.
Yes.
And that they then, you know, followed this, you know, the same filmmakers followed it for years and years until they got these men released. And that was, I watched it originally as research for something, and kind of just got sort of obsessed and fascinated by actual life because I play make-believe for a living. So narrative film sometimes leaves me a little like, oh, I saw that coming.
Yeah, but see, I mean, again, that's what's so cool. Like, you know, you live all of the things that maybe people love, like pop culture stuff, superheroes, horror, this, that, and the other. And real life is kind of what brings you, not grounded, so to speak, but gets you more excited. And stuff like Dateline or, you know, documentaries. I mean, that's another way of people like, I mean, look, you could still be obsessed with that stuff. I mean, take example, I don't know if you saw it, but it's the documentary about the Golden State Killer.
Oh, God. No, I already, I read the book. I listened to the podcast.
Yeah. But
Michelle McNamara. Yeah.
That was a perfect example of being a little, almost a little too obsessed. But, you know, at the end, like, you know, not to spoil it for anybody, but it's great.
But they found him.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Did you watch, I mean, not that I only watch HBO documentaries, but they do a lot of really good ones.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Jinx? The Fred Durst thing?
No. Was that with...
Not Fred Durst. That's the Limp Bizkit guy.
I was like, wait, what?
No, the guy that like posed as it was on HBO like a couple of years ago. It's right before the Making a Murderer documentary came out on Netflix. It was kind of like the precursor.
Yeah, the guy confessed or something, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to ruin it, but I mean, wild, absolutely wild. And just, I don't know. I mean, I guess also because my job, whilst make-believe, is usually hopefully very grounded in reality, that I do have a slightly intense fascination with lives that I know nothing about. And, you know, and I have dark taste.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like most people, whether they are in the comic book industry, right, they take small little bits and pieces from these news articles or their obsessions like true crime. And they...
and a lot of comic book and genre stuff is allegorical of real life, you know, situations, and is using a sort of mystical, fantastical thing to tell a more meaningful, grounded story. I mean, those are the good ones anyway, you know.
The Joker technically could be the Golden State Killer, maybe just not the same crimes, but he's still...
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's the parallels are not an accident.
Okay. All right, so you're more into the real life villains than you are the actual kind of over the top, oh, I'm gonna, you know, kidnap people into an abandoned music park.
Too many of my hours of my life sweating into pleather, like, super suits.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm watching going, oh man, you look really, you're doing a good job of not looking uncomfortable, because that must be brutal.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot. Obviously, we talked about true crime, but I also know one of your other passions, which happens to be fitness, which is what
Yes.
this segment's all
Yes.
about. What kind of got you into fitness? Was it working out for a role, or was it like, oh man, I just want to get into shape for something, or were you just like, you know what, there's this kind of fitness craze that I want to give it a shot? Or
I mean, honestly, I've always been into some form of fitness. I was a gymnast when I was younger.
oh, interesting. I did not know.
I competed for a while. I was not a particularly talented gymnast, but you know, I loved it. I really only stopped when my career took off and there was no way you can keep up with the hours and hours of training before school if you're, like in another country shooting a movie. But so that was a huge part of my life. Always been a runner, always been a swimmer. Also just kind of keeps you sane, like moving your body.
Yeah.
My family's really athletic. And then
you're also very, very good at at training and in the methodology, I guess, of functional fitness. I've been in the gym and I've seen, we've got to know each other for a little while now. But your progress is amazing, and your trainer.
Well, I didn't know. I definitely fell into that category of girls that were scared of lifting heavy because you're going to be bulky, or you're going to be like whatever the bullshit that kind of gets fed to us with the sort of completely unrealistic beauty standards that go along with a lot of my business historically.
Yeah,
I think are changing, and that part of sort of female empowerment is it's like, yeah, women are allowed to have muscles. That doesn't make you unfeminine. It makes you a strong woman. And Lauren, AKA LG Thunder, Lauren Gravatt, who is my goddess of functional fitness.
And Thunder.
And yes, really just kind of changed my entire perception of what I was working out for, as opposed to just being skinny, the smaller, the better. I was like, there's no mirrors in functional fitness. It's like, oh, well, man, I lifted that, or I got at PR, or I mastered some new skill, and you feel badass.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling, especially as a very small woman.
And that's the thing too, with like somebody like LG, there are guys and girls that want to emulate her just because she empowers this way of working out where she's intense and she's a little in your face, but that's just her. But she's also she's super strong, and the fact that she can push it when it needs to be pushed, especially during like a workout. And it's so funny. I remember interviewing with a celebrity trainer, and I remember talking about deadlifts or something functional fitness related, and this person was like, "Oh no, I don't want my clients to look like they lift 400 pounds. I don't want them to actually do it. I just want them to look like it." But I was like, why? It'd be so cool if they could, though. Like, how rad would it be if you could see somebody lift?
I'd rather look like I can't lift the weight that I can lift and really shock the shit out of people.
Well,
it's always kind of funny when, I'm never gonna be ungrateful when people are helpful and kind in public, when you're like going through an airport with your twins and lots of baggage and you're the only adult and someone's like, "Hey, can I help you?" I'm like, "Actually, I'm fine."
Yeah. I'm good,
like,
thanks.
Thank you. Really kind. That mom over there, by the way, though, looks like with her 5 kids, probably needs a hand.
But no, again, from an outsider looking in and seeing that your progress over the course of the years, I am very, very proud of you, and I'm sure Lauren is too. But
no, and it feels good, and it's stuff that it was just a brand new arena of exercising. I'd literally never lifted anything heavier. Like, I'd done body weight stuff.
Yeah.
But girls don't do weights. You know what I mean? Like, as a sort of thing, and
it's like a negative, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
and
also, not to sort of get preachy, but specifically for women, as you get older, your calcium levels go down, your bones get weaker, and weightlifting actually is one of the best ways to stave off, osteoporosis and things like this. And I think that like the sort of the beauty image industry and where it intersects with the fitness industry has really done a disservice to a lot of women in previous years, sort of, and generations, with it being about looking a certain way, not about your body actually being able to move and function. And I want to be able to do this thing with my body. And so I'm training for that.
Well, the big thing
and that's so cool.
Yeah, and that's the big thing that we encourage here on the show and with Dead Boys Fitness is that we want you to be stronger, faster, and healthier. We're not looking for any kind of aesthetic. If that comes, that's almost like a bonus, right?
Yeah, it's like it looks how it looks.
Yeah, but we have people from all walks of life, overweight people, older people, younger people, people in their teens, and we're not trying to get them to look a certain way. We just want them to be able to go through the airport with their kids and not feel like they can't pick something up, or go to the grocery store, or pick, or with all these bags and take them to the car. And that's
exactly. It's like a real benefit to your life, you know. And special shout out to parents of multiples, because you have kids that want, being able to carry both your twins at the same time, way past the age that they should be carried, is really cool.
Yeah.
It's like, I got 2 arms and 2 hips, so let's go.
I wouldn't know anything about that, but I have a 60-pound bulldog that's staring at me.
Matzo, I think, counts.
Yeah, matzo ball is quite the large piece.
No, she weighs, I think, probably about what my kids weigh collectively. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know we're running out of time, but before we go, I always ask one question to every single person that's on the show, and I'm very curious to hear your answer. Obviously, big wrestling fan. I've had you've met Becky Lynch, you've met Seth Rollins.
And I came to one of the shows.
You sure did, and
we dressed up.
Fan. Yeah, instant fan. If you were,
I like feisty, strong women.
Yeah, exactly. And you actually pull off an orange wig very well, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you were to book the main event of your own pop culture WrestleMania, what would it be? It could be anything. It could be Thor versus Hulk. It could be Suki versus whatever her name is from Twilight. My mom will probably kill me. Bella, whatever.
I've never seen Twilight, so can't speak to that.
Okay. But it could be anything.
Let me think.
It could be Keith Morrison versus 18 serial killers, whatever you want it to be.
Oh God. Trying to think of
There's no wrong answer, by the way.
No, I'm just trying to think of who would be fun to watch. Also, without going into anything that's going to be
I mean, it's okay.
Wouldn't mind watching Obama take Trump in the ring.
Oh, there you go. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a very good headline.
No. Michelle.
Oh,
Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. I like that. Mixed tag or just Michelle and Trump 1-on-1?
I think she can take him.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I mean, her whole sort of health and fitness initiative that she tried to, sort of bring about for kids in this country was, I think, amazing, and she lives it.
All right. I like it. I like that. Let's book it. Let's call it Vince.
I was going to say,
I'd watch on pay-per-view.
Me too.
Anna, this has been a pleasure. It has definitely been an honor to talk to you.
Thanks, Joshy.
I miss seeing you in real life.
Likewise.
See each other soon.
Once, the sort of whatever we're living in situation, not full lockdown, but not, really seeing humans as much.
Yeah.
Thing ends. We'll chill.
All right. Well, thank you again. Guys, thank you again so much for watching. Please make sure you stay in Sideshow, but most importantly, make sure you let your geek side show. See you later. Hey guys, what's going on? Joshy G and Jen, and we are outside where we are going to show you an incredible workout. Obviously, Anna, very, very busy schedule. Couldn't do the workout today, but don't worry. We got you covered. All right, this bad boy is a 10-minute AMRAP, which means as many rounds and reps as possible with 3 very, very simple movements. The no push-up burpee, air squats, and of course, cross body toe touches. We're gonna show you how to do that in 3, 2, 1. Don't look so excited, Jen. All right, the first movement is a no push-up burpee. You've heard me talk about it. You've seen it done. Well, Jen's gonna demonstrate it. What's gonna happen is you're gonna go down for a burpee, hands down to the ground. You're gonna throw your feet back. You're gonna throw them forward, and you're gonna jump and clap. That's 1 rep. We're looking for 4 reps here. Again, if you can't throw your feet back and throw them forward, just walk your feet back. Walk them forward. Either way, this is a fun, effective way to get that heart rate going. The next movement in this AMRAP is the air squat. So you're gonna squat all the way down, hopefully below parallel, and you're gonna stand all the way up. That's considered a good squat. We're looking for 6 of these bad boys. Now again, if you can't squat all the way down, if you have some mobility issues, that's okay. Just squat as low as you can. And now the third and final movement in this workout is the cross-body toe touch, which I guess could technically be the most complicated, but we're gonna show you how to do it the safest and most effective way. So you're gonna get to the top of your push-up. You're gonna pike your body up with your right hand. You're gonna reach for your left toe. Good, you're gonna get back to the top of your push-up. That's 1 rep. You're gonna go and now alternate hands to the opposite hand, opposite foot. We're looking for a total of 8 reps. Good job, Jen. How do you feel after that one?
Out of breath.
Out of breath, all right.
It really worked. My whole body, core, legs.
Look at that, all right? That's exactly what we're looking for, to tax that core, to tax those legs. And again, this is a fun, safe, and effective workout that you can do at home. All right, 10 minutes is all you need. 3 solid movements. Nice job, high five. All right, well, hopefully you guys had fun. Enjoy the rest of your day, and let us know in the comment section below how you did. Otherwise, make sure that you stay in Sideshow. Most importantly, don't forget to let your geek side show. See you next week, or in 2 weeks, or in 3 weeks. You never know.
Hey, did you like that video? Be sure to subscribe by clicking the S icon on your screen and click that bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.